I just wanted to ask you. We were talking to Fletcher Cox earlier this week, and he mentioned how Javon Hargrave has kind of really come on here recently, and he talked about the challenges of playing an attack system, something he wasn't used to. So, one, how big of an adjustment was it for you coming in last year, and then what have you seen from Javon?
It was a huge adjustment. You come in for me playing 8 years of just sitting there reading essentially, and coming here, they just want you to go attack. It didn't really register with me, really all through camp, and even the first game, I kind of went back to my old ways. So it really took me a whole year. Even I got hurt, so even just thinking about it all last year, really, I had to think about it. I had to put myself in situations in the game and say, go this, do that, do that, do that. So and it still is a challenge. But I think Hargrave came on great. He's really showing up. I think the injuries he had in the beginning kind of messed with him, but now he's shown who he truly is and why he got the big bucks. He's getting sacks. He's creating pressure. He's creating havoc in the backfield on run plays. So I'm happy to be a part of his success and be next to him, play next to him, and see him grow.
Okay, Bo Wolf and then Martin Frank.
Malik, we've talked to you in the past about the NFL having this season in the midst of the pandemic. How in the way that things have turned out over the past month or so, as cases have exploded a little bit. How do you feel about the way the league has handled things?
I think as an employee, it's hard to talk bad about the league, you know what I'm saying, because we do get paid, and this does help a lot of people, we could talk, or we'll be talking to you guys, so who knows what will happen. But I think when you kind of, as a human being outside looking in, it's kind of like a tale of two tapes that we're looking at. One, everything's okay, just do this, do this, do this. Another one, people are running around with their hair on fire. So, I think it's just they just put a lot of dependence on us to go out here and try to, live the right way under their eyes and just do the right thing for 16 weeks and plus playoffs. And, it's been an adjustment, but, this pays the bill, so you got to sacrifice.
Do you feel like your health is a priority to the league?
I think it's one of the priorities. Now, the top priority, I don't know, but I think it is. I hope it is one of their priorities.
Okay, Martin Frank and then Les Bowen.
Hey, Malik. Going against Taysom Hill, what kind of challenges does he present? Obviously being more of a runner than a thrower, and does practicing against Jalen Hurts kind of help you prepare for someone like that?
Yes and no. I think it's hard with Hill because he has those legs, and as pass rushers, when you're getting ready for the Saints a week prior, you're like, oh, Drew Brees is going to stand there, he's going to look downfield. He's not even looking to run unless he has to. This guy, you have to really watch your rushes. You got to be more of a Aaron Rodgers type of rushes where you're really cautious of where people are going, where he's going, where he is. And so I think that's really just the difference, and as a pass rusher, it kind of sucks because you want the guy to stand there. But, it's just he just provides you different problems, and we got to respect him.
Okay, Les and then Zach Berman.
Hey, Malik. The Eagles have really invested a lot of money in this defensive line. I know you guys have a lot of sacks. How do you think the line is played overall? Have the Eagles gotten their money's worth out of the group this year? And how would you assess the line's performance?
Oof. Yeah, they got their money's worth. Shoot, we're trying our hardest, man. We're working hard, like you said. We're leading sacks as a D line. Essentially, I know I can be doing more. We're all just working hard, man. It's one of those things that this is a tough year. These quarterbacks are getting the ball out a lot faster. These schemes are becoming, just a little different. So I think it's one of those things we're all adjusting, but I think we're coached very well, and we're out here doing what we can. And, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see Zach Berman's hand up, so let's go with Zach.
Hey, Malik, you lived through Peyton Manning, Brock Osweiler in Denver. You saw Blake Bortles get benched in Jacksonville. Not trying to compare Carson to either Manning or Bortles, but in a locker room when there is a quarterback change, what happens among the players? Is there an opinion on who should start? Did they just get behind it? Is there a division? How would you explain it?
The quarterback position is very delicate. I think, one of those things that, for example, for me, when I I was in Jacksonville. I made Pro Bowl. Then the following year, they said I couldn't play the run, so I got benched. So it's one of those things that getting benched happens to us. But all you gotta do, I was able to get an opportunity here and rebuild myself and fight. And then I think that's what all we can really do is just Carson could just understand what's going on, fix the problems, and rebuild. And I think in the locker room we understand as players that it's tough to get benched or to have reps taken away from you. It happens to us all the time. So it sucks, but we understand this is a what have you done for me lately kind of business, and a production business, and I think we all understand, but it does suck. When you have such a good guy, have to go through that. But this is all about resilience and just building.
Okay, E.J. Smith and then Ed Benkin.
Hey, Malik. So we heard a little bit ago that Jason Peters is going to miss the rest of the season, and this might be the end of his career. So I'm just wondering, what the last 2 years have been like being his teammate.
Yeah, that sucks. It's been really cool. You get to meet a guy that's just been just not gonna say a relic, but just somebody who's just been a staple in the game. One of the best right tackles in the game, left tackles in the game. Just been doing it for a long time. 17 years. Hell, that's a lifetime. So hopefully I hope it's not his last time playing, but if it is, man, it's been an honor and a pleasure practicing, seeing his work habits, learning from him as far as what to do off the field. Somebody that's been playing that long, been around it. You speak to him about money, girl situations, anything. He's gonna have insight for you, and he's just a super cool guy. So just to meet guys that like that, man, it's been a blessing. So like I said, I hope it's not his last time, but if it is, man, it's been a blessing, and I really appreciate him.
Okay, we'll end it here with Ed Benkin.
Hi, Malik. You've been part of a Super Bowl champ in Denver and a couple of rough years in Jacksonville. How well do you think the leadership group and the team here during this type of season has done keeping everybody together and keeping their focus?
I think they've done a really good job. I think we can really look at one guy, Rodney McLeod. During this whole time, he's been doing his tough losses, but we still out here in the streets. He's trying to get people to vote. He's trying to do things in the community, feed people, do all this stuff, and he has guys helping him. So it's one of those things I think, through all in all, I think our leadership has understood where we're at, understand what we need to do, and we continue not to only talk about it, but work on it. And but I think, taking outside of here, not just, going home pouting and talking about each other, we come together as much as we can in the pandemic, but which is none, to be honest with you, actually. But we do go help people and do stuff. That's the one time we do get together, So it's been hard, but I think our leadership has done a good job.
Hi, Nate. We just got news Jason Peters is shut down for the year, and it could be the end of his career. I mean, how has he helped you? What have you learned from Jason through your time with the Eagles?
For me, it's just every little thing he does, like how he takes care of his body, how he approaches the game, his film study, what he eats, how he works out, just everything, because at the end of the day, he's a Hall of Famer. And, I would hope to have half the career that he's had to this point.
Okay, Dave and then Bo Wolf.
Hey, Nate, a few line combinations ago, you were starting next to Jordan Mailata. Just wondering what that was like, what you learned about him as a player during those times.
Jordan's a dog, He's been playing very well against some good players, and, I knew this was coming for him. He's been working his butt off, and I'm really happy for him, and he's doing what he deserves. He's getting what he deserves.
Okay, Bo and then Les Bowen.
Nate, you went from starting those first, 8 or 9 games to then being inactive and then now getting the starting job back. What was that process like, and what happened there over those couple weeks?
The team did what they felt was best for us to win, and I was banged up, and other guys got some opportunities, and they played really well, and now guys are banged up, and I'm coming back, and I have an opportunity, so I hope I can just help the team win. That's all I care about. I want to win.
What was the message from Coach Stout on the things that you needed to improve on?
Just everything. I'm just not good enough in general, and I just need to be better in all aspects of my game.
Okay, Les and then Jeff McLean.
What was that like for you, Nate? You started a bunch of games. You'd done pretty well, it seemed. How difficult was that for you? And what was your explain your finger hand injury to us. We didn't really get a very good understanding of that.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I can't really explain that. But
it was your hand, though.
Yeah, but you know, I don't even look at it like that. It's not even about me. None of it's about me. It's about whatever can help the team win. It doesn't matter, you know, what lineup it was. It's just if I'm out there, I'm going to do the best that I can to try and help the team win, and that's just how I look at it.
Are you you're back at, you know, these last 4 games? Is this a chance for you to show that you can be a long-term starter here? Do you look at it that way?
I don't. I look at it like I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do my best to help the team win and beat the Saints. That's all I want to do. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm going to be where my feet are.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
Jordan, just to follow, Nate, to follow up on Jordan, when you watch the film of him, what impresses you the most about his performance and how he plays physically?
I mean, he's just too big to be moving like that, and he's smooth, physical, and he just has great balance. You know, he's a good player. He's going to be a really good player.
Okay, Ruben Frank.
Hey, when you say something like, you know, the message was that I'm not good enough, is that just you being a competitor and always wanting to get better? Or were you having like a crisis of confidence at some point when you were inactive?
Being a competitor, you know, regardless of whatever's happened or anything, I just feel like I just got to play better. I'm not playing like how I want to play. We never won, so obviously I don't feel like personally I'm doing my job well enough to help the team accomplish what we want to accomplish. So I need to get better. That's how I look at it.
I was wondering, obviously with Malcolm Jenkins coming back and everything, just kind of what he has meant to you, if you guys still keep in touch, that type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, Malcolm is definitely, you know, my big brother for sure. He knows that. I love the guy. You know, I know he loves me. As far as, you know, what he means to me is that he's a guy who, my first 4 years here, you know, taught me a lot about football, how to recover my body, you know, what to eat, what not to eat, you know, ways to, you know, get myself prepared for the week of practice and also before the game. So a guy who definitely, you know, helped me as far as, you know, a young guy coming in, asking a veteran guy, you know, ins and outs of, you know, the game of football.
Go ahead, John, and then Mike.
Hey, Jalen. Taysom Hill, what kind of difficulties does he present from a more traditional quarterback like Drew Brees? You kind of know where Drew's going to be. Taysom, not so much. How does that change things?
Yeah, kind of like you just said, you know, you kind of know where Drew Brees is going to be. He's a guy who's going to, you know, be in the pocket. He's going to facilitate from inside of the pocket with Taysom Hill. I mean, a guy who, you know, he played quarterback. He can make all the throws, but he's also a threat, you know, with his legs, you know, running the ball, whether that is, you know, just a quarterback run or whether that's, you know, him escaping the sack or a blitzer and getting outside of the pocket and trying to make a throw down the field. So it's definitely a little bit difficult when you're facing, you know, a guy like him who is a dual-threat quarterback.
Hey, Jalen, you go up against Jalen Hurts. You've been going up against Jalen Hurts with the scout team for weeks. To you, what's the biggest challenge he presents to a defense?
Kind of like the same thing I just said about Taysom Hill, a dual-threat quarterback. A guy who, you know, if it is a situation to where you got a free blitzer or a defensive end, you know, coming right at him, he can escape the pocket. If a team's in man or there or in zone, you know, those 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 5s, you know, he can use his legs and to move the chains. And as a defender, you know, that can be definitely frustrating for sure.
I know a lot of people make a lot of big deal about quarterback size, but a guy like Russell Wilson, similar in height, when a guy's that compact, does it make it actually harder to tackle him or bring him down on the run?
100%. Yeah, 100%. You think about like Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, you know, these not big 6'6" quarterbacks, 230, 240, definitely makes them a little harder. You know, smaller target, and they're a little bit more shiftier for sure.
Bo and then Daniel.
Jalen, back when Travis Fulgham was breaking out, you had the stories of seeing him in practice, and you sort of called it. Do you have any stories like that of Jalen Hurts where he did anything in practice that stood out to you?
Yeah, for I want to say the past 3 weeks, on our Fridays, it's Red Zone Compete Day. He was on the scout team, of course. He was just, man, he would make some crazy throws on us, man. Some crazy throws. It'd have Schwartz cussing us out, guys on the defense, mad, pissed off. But that's what you want. You want that competition on the other side of the ball, and you see him making those throws, and it's a guy you're like, all right, he's a rookie. He can use his legs. He's not a guy who's just trying to and just run just because the pocket is collapsing. Like, he was sitting in the pocket and he was making accurate throws on tight coverage. So for sure, I think that's kind of one of the things that sparked my eye, that he's comfortable sitting in the pocket.
Daniel and then Bob.
Hey, Jalen. Earlier today, Malik Jackson was talking about the leadership on the team in general, and he mentioned Rodney's leadership, and especially when it comes to doing stuff off the field in addition to helping you guys in the locker room. Rodney was the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee yesterday. I mean, how have you kind of seen Rodney's off the field work over time and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I came in with Rod as a rookie. He signed here as a free agent, and even since then, he's a guy who was always trying to do something, especially for the holidays, for unfortunate families and kids. And I know he's really big in the Big Brother, Big Sister program as well. And that's just a guy, kind of like you just said, he's not a guy who just focused on the field. He's always trying to do something off the field, knowing the position that he's in, being fortunate enough to help others. And that's what you want. This game is not all about football. It's, if you can change one life, that's enough. And he's definitely doing that for more than just one family or one person, for sure.
Go ahead, Bob, and then Dave. Or Dave, if you want to go ahead.
Sure. Jalen, you were mentioning Jalen Hurts in red zone periods. Because everyone knows about his legs, do you kind of feel like people are overlooking his ability to throw the ball?
Yeah. One thing I know, and this is going back to college, me playing at LSU, I always playing against Alabama. Pro-style offense against Alabama, we always knew, if you were playing the Alabama team, they're going to have a quarterback who can make all the throws because it's a pro-style offense. They're going to have nice running backs, and they're going to have good receivers. So when you talk about that, him playing in that style of offense, he can make every throw on the field, and that's just point-blank, period. So definitely, for sure, kind of like you just said, his legs, they're a weapon, but at the end of the day, his arm is his arm. He can make every throw on the field, for sure.
All right, I see one more hand raised, so we'll end it here with Martin.
Hey, Jalen, picking up on that, seeing what you saw from Jalen Hurts in red zone and stuff, did you ever wonder, why he wasn't used, more in games in those situations when you guys were down by the goal line?
Yeah, Carson is our leader of our team. Carson was the starting quarterback, and we know what type of player Carson is. He's a guy who's going to go out there and work hard and try to put us in the best position to make plays. That's the best answer I can give for you right there.
Mike, go ahead. I saw you pop up.
Hey, Jalen, is this the most starting Jalen's on a team that you've played on?
Definitely, 100%. Never had this many Jalen's on a team. I had LSU. It was two of us. It was me and it was Jalen Collins. He played corner as well. But outside of that, yeah, three Jalen starting. I think it's something special brewing up for sure.
Hey, Javon, you've obviously gone up against Jalen Hurts pretty regularly with the scout team. What stands out to you about his game, and what makes him so kind of dangerous on the move?
Jalen always a confident person. I talk to Jalen about every day since I've been here. He just, real positive person, real confident person. But for him, I think it's just his legs. I always was taught, man, when you got a quarterback who can move and maneuver, that's a pretty dangerous man.
How did that relationship kind of spark up? You talk every day. I mean, that sounds like you guys are pretty tight.
I don't know. I mean, as soon as we got drafted here and I think I was signing here, he followed me on Instagram immediately. I mean, I think that's just the person he is. It's just to really talk to everybody every day. So for me, it was just us being in the cold tub and things like that and just starting communication and just start talking and building that bond.
Go ahead, Les.
Hey, Javon. You guys, the defensive line, you have a lot of sacks. But are you having what do you make of the play of the line this year? I mean, the team's 3-8-1. How do you feel the defensive line has played overall?
I mean, of course, we when you ain't winning, it don't feel as good when you winning. So we feel like we got a long way to go. We not satisfied. We not really happy of how this season done went, but we just really focus on the Saints right now and just trying to get a win.
Thank you.
We'll go to John McMullen.
Hey, Javon. You kind of mentioned with Jalen about how a quarterback who can run affects the defense. You got one this week in Taysom Hill. What does that kind of presence do for you guys up front? Whereas, Drew Brees, kind of a pocket quarterback, that shifts things for you guys, I would imagine, at least a little bit.
Yeah, you just know you can't really rush wild, be reckless with your rush because, somebody like that can, turn a 5-play, miss tackle into a 40-yard run. So you just got to be real disciplined on our rushes and just trying to contain the quarterback and keep him from not being able to scramble and do things like that.
We'll go to Bob Groats next.
Yeah, Javon, a couple of teammates of Jalen Hurts have said that he's kind of a funny guy. Do you have a story about maybe something funny that's come up, or maybe something he's told you, or anything like that?
Nah, I ain't really got any stories from him, but I just know he is pretty hilarious. He always joking around in the locker room. I say he's just an upbeat guy, but nah, I haven't heard any stories yet.
I see one more hand raised, so we'll go to Mike.
Javon, one more for you on Jalen. When you see, as a veteran, when you see a rookie come in and kind of endear himself to the locker room, especially to veterans, what does that say about him as a person and as a leader?
I mean, for me, it's just I just think he's a good person overall. Not really talking football, he's just a good person. It's not a lot of good people in the world, and that was kind of my first impression on him when I first met him. Just he's a good people person.
Hey, Alex, the linebacker depth chart's looking kind of light right now. What can you tell us about Rashad Smith and Joe B., the guy who just got here?
Yeah, Rashad, he's been here for a few weeks. First thing about it, fast dude, plays exactly how kind of, I think we all do, fast, gets the ball, has done a lot on scout team the last few weeks, and obviously now he, is going to be on special teams and, just going to do everything he can for the team. And, Joe has been in meetings with us this week, obviously with the COVID rules. It's, really funny. I'm excited to see what he knows. It's nice to be able to pick his brain this week for the Saints. Obviously, he was there for the first 12 weeks of the season, so it's definitely, helped us a little bit to be able to ask him a few questions here and there. But he seems like a smart dude and a guy that we're, ready to see go out there and do everything he can for this team.
Martin and then Paul Domwich.
Hey, Alex, just kind of following up on that question. I mean, obviously with all the injuries you guys have had at linebacker, it's given plenty of guys a chance to play, including yourself. I mean, how crazy has that kind of been for you guys? And, how do you keep adjusting, I guess?
Yeah, I think the coaches have said it all the time, the next man up mentality, and you never know who it's going to be and when it's going to be your turn. I'm sure Rashad last week, just going into that game, didn't know we were going to lose two guys, in a week. So it's just to, always be ready. And I think, speaking of Rashad, he's a guy that is going to be ready. He hasn't asked one question this week that, kind of set off he wasn't ready to play yet, only being here for a few weeks. All I've gotten from him is just a guy that's really excited to play, a guy that's prepared to play, and a guy that's ready. And yeah, and like my circumstance, and I think it was the same thing, next man up, and you got to prepare like a starter. So, if your time ever gets called, you're ready to do it.
Go ahead, Damo, and then Bo.
Hey, Alex, I wanted to ask you about Alvin Kamara, obviously one of the better pass-catching backs in the league. He had 70 catches until Hill took over. Hasn't been used much as the pass catcher the last 3 weeks with Hill at quarterback. Has something changed? Have you seen anything on tape that why that's been happening?
Oh, I just think that, they're just emphasizing the run game a little more, with who's at quarterback. And they've been really good at it. They've controlled games. They haven't had to, spread teams out. Taysom's obviously a different quarterback than Drew Brees. It's not the same guy, but, the efficiency is obviously still there. They've been able to keep it, third and short, mostly every game if they're even in third downs. They've controlled the clock, and it's something that we need to be able to stop, hopefully. Hopefully there's a lot more drop back and a lot more Alvin Kamara running routes and not just running the ball.
Go ahead, Bo.
Alex, I just wanted to ask about your up top shirt. Where did that come from? Do you have a relationship?
Obviously, Colt Anderson is a University of Montana guy, and I'm a Montana State guy. Even though it's a rivalry in the state, we still, support our, Montana NFL brotherhood. So, I got to rock my up top every time I can.